Hello, good evening. Don't adjust your set. Look North is coming first. The national network news is coming at 7 o'clock. Our top story tonight. Industrial action by lecturers could mean students waiting for degree marks.
It's really hard. I don't know what to put on my CV. I'm not sure what to tell employers.
We'll hear from students and lecturers. Also coming up tonight, a man is killed in a light aircraft crash in North Yorkshire. It's day 2 of the Ashes test at Headingley. We speak to Yorkshire's new chairman about moving cricket on from a difficult few years. And a Scarborough care home choir made up of people living with dementia wows the crowds.
After a glorious end to the week, things are looking more unsettled into the weekend, with a warning from the Met Office for thunderstorms during tomorrow. There could be some intense downpours. I'll be back later in the programme with the full forecast.
Hello there, thank you for joining us. Friday has come around again and we start tonight with higher education. Hundreds of students from universities across our region fear they will not receive their grades this summer due to ongoing industrial action. The University and College Union have members at all of Yorkshire's universities and they've been striking over pay and conditions since last autumn, calling for a 12% pay rise and an end to 0 hours and temporary contracts. Then in April, the union members began a boycott in addition to the strikes, where they're refusing to mark university exams and assessments. It's estimated 13,000 students nationally will be affected by this boycott, which could lead to delays in awarding degree classifications. Abby Jola has tonight's top story.
Ella should be thinking about her options for the future. She's finished her degree, but because of a marking boycott, she won't be given a grade when she graduates in 3 weeks' time.
It's really hard. I don't know what to put on my CV. I'm not sure what to tell employers, future employers. Yeah, it's quite an uncertain time for me. I think for new graduates it is anyway, but this has really added quite a lot of anxiety.
Current university students have faced years of disruption. COVID lockdowns meant no face-to-face teaching, and ongoing industrial action by lecturers has meant hours of learning have been missed. But they've still paid tens of thousands of pounds for their study.
Over £50,000 worth of debt. I think it's really disappointing. We've paid a lot of money, we've worked really hard, and we've seen no sort of compensation, like I say, no kind of even sort of gesture of, you know, we're sorry about this, the effect that this had on you.
The University of Leeds told us the vast majority of our final year students will receive their degree classification as planned, and all students are invited to attend their graduation. We are working hard to mitigate any impact of the marking and assessment boycott. There are hundreds of students like Ella who face graduating without a degree classification. There are members of the UCU union at all the universities in Yorkshire. They are facing pay deductions at some universities for not marking.
Different universities around the country and within the region have been pursuing different strategies. Here at Sheffield, as you say, it's been 3 weeks of 100% pay deductions. So the technical term for that is a lockout. The university says to its employees, we're not accepting your partial performance of your work. Go home, any work that you do decide to do will be voluntary and unpaid.
But the people who are most affected by this are the students who've paid thousands of pounds.
My heart certainly goes out to them because you have to sympathise with these students. But I almost never hear Vice-Chancellors being asked the same question. And so I think for your audience at home, even if they think that we're just a bunch of weird, beardy Marxists, they think that we're the bad guys. You know, the Vice-Chancellors are in the wrong here too. They need to come to the table. We just want to reopen negotiations.
The University of Sheffield say only 64 students will not receive a degree classification and will be awarded a temporary degree to allow them to graduate. The University and College Employers Association say they will talk to unions next week, but will only resume pay negotiations if the marking boycott is called off. Abby Jaola, BBC Look North.
Thanks, Abby. We'll keep you up to date with that story. Now, experts are warning that the surging food prices are now taking centre stage in the cost of living crisis. The Resolution Foundation have told us the price hikes are particularly painful for low-income families, and 3 in 5 shoppers are cutting back on food and other essentials. Now, a group of supermarket savers from Leeds are actually pooling their resources to make sure they all save money on their weekly shop, as Gemma Dillon has been finding out.
You feel like you're letting everyone down in the family if you go shopping and that week nobody seems to enjoy the food.
We've all seen the cost of a food shop rocket in the last year. Overall, food prices remain 19% higher than a year ago. We'll just take a look at some of the food that I have in my fridge. Take this block of cheese. That's around £3.77 at the moment. That's up 39% in the last year. 2 pints of milk, most people have it in their fridge. That's £1.30. That's up 33% in the last year. And just finally, we'll take a dozen eggs. Careful not to break them. They're worth quite a lot of money at the moment. £3.29. That's up 37% in the last year. So lots of the food stuff that many of us have in our fridges, we're just seeing creep up and up and up. The big 4 supermarkets, including West Yorkshire-based Morrisons and Asda, faced MPs in the House of Commons recently and all refused to back introducing price caps on food, which would limit the amount customers pay. They also rejected claims that they were making excess profits. But where does that leave shoppers trying to make their budget stretch? At the old fire station in Gipton, a group of people struggling with increasing costs of food are working together to find the best prices for their weekly shop.
This self-reliant group has the theme of supermarket savers. And the idea is that that's what everybody has in common. They want to save money on their supermarket shops. They want to feel like they're shopping with somebody else. And be part of a group that looks out for each other, looks out for bargains for each other, and takes it in turns to go to different shops.
Sarah is one of the other group members and values the support the group offers.
There were also people that were just really tired and worn down by the shopping and just, like myself, stuck to the budget, got the same old stuff, could see that the family's getting a little bit bored and tired and didn't really know what twist to put on it, because if you go too wrong, you're wasting your budget and you're not getting fed again.
Supermarkets say they have spent money battling inflation and have protected customers from the biggest price hikes. But with experts warning expensive food is about to take centre stage in the cost of living crisis, conversations and groups like the Supermarket Savers about how to save money on your weekly food shop will become more widespread. Gemma Dillon, BBC Look North, Leeds.
Thanks, Gemma. You can see more on the debate over food prices in Politics North. That's on Sunday at 10 o'clock. You're watching Friday's Look North. Still to come on tonight's programme, we tune into 11-year-old Izzy, an award-winning rising radio star from Wakefield. Now, an investigation is underway after a man died in a plane crash in North Yorkshire. Emergency services responded yesterday evening to reports of a plane crash landing in a field. The Air Accidents Investigation Branch is looking into exactly what happened. Our reporter Nicola Rees has spent the day at the scene, joins us now. Nicola, what can you tell us?
Well, we're 3 miles outside of Thirsk here, Tom, and just over a mile away from Bagby Airfield. Just behind us, beyond the fences, just where the tree line are, still a lot of forensic activity going on there. The footage shows really extensive wreckage. This aircraft came down at 7:45 last night. It crash landed into the field there. Residents say they heard a loud bang. We now know that, very sadly, a 20-year-old man died in that accident. Police haven't yet named him. We understand his family are being supported this evening by specially trained officers. We can only imagine what they must be going through. We understand that there were nobody else was involved in that crash. There were no other passengers on board.
Nicola, extremely early days here, but what do we know about how this has happened?
Yeah, not a lot really. It was a light aircraft, a small aircraft, a twin-engine aircraft, so an engine and a backup engine, the sort of plane that you might own privately and use for personal use. We know, as I've mentioned, we're just a mile from an airfield, so the plane could have been taking off, it could have been landing. Now, all day, as well as the forensics, we have had a team of air accidents investigators. They're from the Air Accident Investigation Branch, actually. And in the last half hour, we've had some really specialist equipment and vehicles, cranes arriving to just really, they're trawling through the wreckage. They're looking for clues, for evidence as to how this might have happened. And the wreckage is due to be transported back to their headquarters for more specialist analysis. So hopefully in the coming days and weeks, we will have more answers as to how this might have happened and how that young man lost his life.
Nicola Rees, live at the scene of yesterday evening's air crash. Thank you very much indeed. Now, some other stories making headlines for Look North. 4 men who were arrested in connection with the death of a man in a York jewellery store have been told they will not face any criminal action. Samuel Deata died last July after entering the store on Coney Street. 2 men who were in the store at the time and another 2 men who were passing by were arrested following an incident. North Yorkshire Police has said a very complex investigation took place, but no criminal charges are now being brought. A coroner's inquest into Samuel's death is now expected to take place. Bus services under threat in West Yorkshire could be saved and protected following a multi-million-pound agreement today. Private operators have been cutting some non-profitable services in recent months, but now the West Yorkshire Combined Authority has agreed to spend £3.8 million to save some of them. The government is also being asked for support on the issue to reduce the impact on passengers. Teachers have been on strike again in Yorkshire for the 2nd time this week. It's the 7th walkout by members of the National Education Union since February. It's part of an ongoing dispute about pay. The government has offered a 4.3 pay rise for most teachers next year, along with a one-off payment of £1,000. Now, it's cost £18 million, and today the refurbished and extended A&E department at York Hospital was unveiled. It follows last week's report from the Care Quality Commission, which rated urgent and emergency care at York as inadequate. Hospital bosses hope the new department will provide a better experience for patients and help improve performance. Phil has been to take a look around.
Friday morning in accident and emergency at York Hospital. Barry was admitted yesterday evening after complaining of chest pain. He says the care received has been excellent, but acknowledges staff are under pressure in the cramped conditions.
I think it's just the way the building's built. You know, and it doesn't look like there's a lot of room. At times, it is chaos, you can see. Doctors, nurses, all over the place. So, I mean, I wouldn't knock out, pay them double. I mean, you know, if you're feeling like I do with my chest, you don't want to be sat at home, you want to come in here.
Last week, a report published by the Care Quality Commission rated urgent and emergency care at York as inadequate. In response, the York Teaching Hospitals NHS Trust said that was due mainly to winter pressure, resources and space. In addition, the redevelopment of the existing A&E department also added to the burden. Today, and £18 million later, the new building was officially opened by a member of staff who spent over 4 decades working on A&E. She says the facilities will transform the patient experience.
The challenges there were mainly about flow, getting people into the hospital or getting people home or getting patients to the right people. Whereas here, because we're combining those services upstairs, that challenge will be lost. So
it should be a better experience
for all patients and their relatives.
And the staff.
Yeah, and the staff, certainly, yeah.
The new A&E building incorporates significant improvements on the old space, including new triage bays, extra resus rooms, alongside a second-floor frailty unit.
Doctors and nurses and other health professionals will work in a much more concentrated way and in a much larger space. The problems with crowding in emergency departments are not necessarily going to go away with this. We think that the changes we've made in terms of the space and hopefully in terms of the way that we work will help to improve some of those things.
A&E is usually somewhere most people would wish to avoid, but reassuring to know this state-of-the-art facility is there for those if and when they need it. Phil Bodmer, BBC Look North, York.
Now, it hasn't just been the tennis taking attention today. We've got the cricket going as the second day of the Ashes coming to an end at Headingley. The man set to take over as Yorkshire's new chairman says the club are ahead of the game in dealing with discrimination. Last month, an independent report found racism, sexism and classism are deep-rooted in cricket. In his first ever broadcast interview, Harry Chathley has told Look North he welcomes the report's findings and says Yorkshire are already acting on them. He's been speaking to our reporter Dave Edwards.
The summer sun shone brightly over Headingley this morning, but last month's independent report cast a long shadow over Yorkshire County Cricket Club. Day 2 of the Ashes test. Come on, England! Happy crowds, you might think nothing's wrong, but the report says this sport is racist, sexist and elitist. Painful reading for many, but essential, according to the chairman-elect.
Yorkshire was the trigger point, but English cricket needed to look at itself. And so I'm definitely pleased that Yorkshire was a trigger point for it, but I'm also pleased to see that report because it proved to us that we were on the right path, because we were ahead of the game.
The report's recommendations include addressing massive inequalities between male and female cricketers and allowing talented children to join county pathway programmes free of charge.
We will make it affordable, and we don't want to miss any talent. We want people to come and have fun, firstly, boys and girls, be coached by first-class coaches, and hopefully one day be stepping out here to play a test match, England versus Australia, whether it be men or women.
An Ashes test brings the eyes of the cricketing world to Headingley, and it brings money too, which is just as well, because Yorkshire has big debts. Having admitted 4 charges relating to racist language and behaviour, the club faces a fine of £500,000, something the new chairman is hoping to get reduced.
We did admit to the charges, so sanctions have to be placed on us, but it has to be reflective of where Yorkshire County Cricket Club is right now.
Now, Bradford is set to benefit from a £10 million funding boost as part of the city's tenure as UK City of Culture in 2025. The investment will support the delivery of Bradford's programme of cultural activity over the year, with approximately 1,000 performances set to take place. The cultural programme is expected to create almost 7,000 new jobs and opportunities across the city by 2030. Can't wait for that. Ian Flatt from North Yorkshire began his third 100-mile trek today. His latest fundraising challenge started at Pateley Bridge this morning, and it will finish at the Tan Hill in a week on Sunday. Ian, who has motor neuron disease, will complete the trek with the help of his Tangerine Dream and a team of doctors, nurses and supporters. At least there's no chance of getting snowed in at Tan Hill this time of year. Now, how about this for a brush with death? You are sat there getting your hair cut and coloured, and a car careers through the salon windows, almost hitting you. Take a look at this. Crikey, that's exactly what happened to customers at this Sheffield hairdresser's. This happened last Friday and covered staff and customers in glass, but amazingly, nobody was injured. Talk about a close shave. Thank you, I've been working on that one. Now, I don't know about you, but when I was 11, much as my parents might have wanted me to be out of the house vandalising bus shelters, I was already playing with tape recorders and microphones, which turned out to be a gateway drug to hospital radio. I know, that's all on you now. Can our next guest make a real living out of broadcasting? Let me introduce to you 11-year-old Izzy from Wakefield, who is a real rising radio superstar. And just to prove it, she has won a fantastic award. Hello, Izzy, how are you doing?
Good, thank you. How are you?
Oh, well, I'm all right, thank you very much indeed. You've already settled in as co-presenter, I can see. So tell me, how did you get into radio? Were you fiddling with microphones from an early age?
No, BCB contacted me during the start of lockdown, and they said, would you like to do a radio show? And here I am now, 3 years later.
Now, I know what BCB is, but for anyone who doesn't, just tell them what that is.
The Bradford Broadcasting Studios.
Yeah, Bradford Community Broadcasting? Yeah,
yes,
I think so.
Yeah.
And how did you just take to it straight away?
It took me a little while to settle into the radio business, but I ended up getting there.
So you're broadcasting on FM now. What else do you do? Are you a YouTuber? Do you have a podcast? Everyone's got a podcast these days, haven't they?
I have a YouTube channel.
Brilliant, OK. And so how did that turn into YouTube channel and BCB programme into winning an award?
It's really all just the radio. My dad sent in a few clips of my radio show and to the Young Audio Awards, and they ended up contacting me saying I got nominated.
Which is fantastic. And you got the news that you'd won from quite a special person, didn't you? Who was that?
Vernon Kay.
Let's take a look at the moment now that Vernon Kay told you in school you'd won this award.
Hi everyone, it's Vernon Kay from BBC Radio 2. And the main reason why I am here is to give Isabel Harper a message from everyone here at Radio 2. Now, Isabel, you are the winner of the BBC Sounds Rising Talent Award for 8 to 11-year-olds. Absolutely amazing. So come on, everyone in class, give her a big round of applause. Yay! Hear the fanfare.
That's incredible. I could see the shock on your face. You had no clue at all.
No clue at all.
Did you at least know who Vernon Kay was?
Yes, I did.
Oh, that's good. That could have been embarrassing. What have your friends said to you about having a radio programme?
Well, they said I'm doing a good job, and they've been really supportive with how I'm doing and through, like, different things, yeah.
We can see a bit of you in action there. I mean, I've had a listen to some of the things you talk about. Is really very much your point of view on the world, isn't it? You talk about films that you've liked and things that you're doing in your life. What do you like to talk about on air?
I like to talk about anything, how my life's going, what I'm doing, and everything around me.
Will you be giving a frank review of Look North after you've been on today?
Probably. It'll be one of my top topics.
Really? OK. Well, I dare to think how we'll be rated, but thank you very much for giving us some attention. Where do you want to go next? Where do you see yourself going?
Well, I see myself somewhere in the media, but I'm still 11, so I have no idea just yet.
Will you still take our phone calls when you're famous?
Probably.
Brilliant. Thanks very much indeed. If we can get you back on, because I'm getting real co-presenter rapport here. If there was one person you could interview, if we could wave a magic wand and get them here, have you got an idea of who you'd really like to interview?
Well, this is kind of a weird one, because I like Doctor Who,
Yes.
so probably the Doctor.
Brilliant. I'd love to interview the Doctor too. We should get the Doctor and make it three of us on the sofa. Izzy, stay there. We're going to get you to co-present a bit of Look North in a minute, but we've got to do something else first of all. And a care home in Scarborough has launched its own dementia choir after being inspired by the BBC One Vicky McClure series, Our Dementia Choir. Made up of residents from Scarborough Hall Care Home, all of whom are living with dementia. They started singing 8 months ago, and they're already making an impact, as Carla Fowler discovered when she went to their premiere public performance.
The debut performance of a very special choir. Here at Queen Street Methodist Central Hall in Scarborough, care home residents, family and friends are enjoying the results of a brand new venture for Scarborough Hall Care Home. Their dementia choir is less than a year old, but it's changing lives.
We've had residents in the past that they don't talk a lot, but they'll sing with us, and that's just fantastic. It's made such a difference to a lot of our residents. The therapeutic values of it is amazing. We see residents that come out of the bedrooms that don't come out that often. It's just a wonderful thing, so uplifting for them.
Many are benefiting, but one resident in particular has transformed. Susie Sherwin rarely left her room in the care home before choir. Now she's its greatest asset. From the first practice, Susie's memory was prompted by music. It brought back her years of singing and dancing on stage as a young woman and triggered once lost feelings and memories.
It's just it's joyous. It's lovely, yeah. Well, I trained about 1973, I think it was. Petswood District Operatic Society. I had to learn to sing how, they've taught me how to sing.
Others too are finding peace, company and friendship here, like choir members Barry, Sheila and Norma.
Would you like to carry it on?
Yeah.
Have you enjoyed coming with us to sing? Yeah. Good friends, company.
Yes.
I would never have got to places like this and met up with these nice people if it hadn't been for this. And I've thoroughly enjoyed it.
At present, there's no cure for dementia. But here in Scarborough, choir is proving a powerful tonic. Carla Fowler, BBC Look North.
Don't they sound brilliant? Now, Izzy's still here. I want you to look at this camera over here. Izzy, you ready? Here we go. It's television presentation debut time.
It's been a very hot day here. Here's Keely with the weather to tell us what it's looking like for the weekend.
Well, thank you very much, Izzy. That's a lovely hand to the weather. And you're absolutely right. It has been a lovely, warm day. Let's take a look at some of the pictures that have been coming in through the day. A lovely peaceful scene here on the Leeds-Liverpool Canal. And the second picture, some lovely sunshine. Here we go, some lovely sunshine on the beach there at Scarborough. What a lovely place to be. All change, though, for the weekend. Keep your pictures coming in to the Weather Watchers page. Oh, I've clicked off it too soon. There you go. You can keep them into the Weather Watchers page, or I'm on Twitter and I'm on Instagram as well. All change for the weekend. We do have a weather warning from the Met Office for the risk of thunderstorms through tomorrow. There could be some intense downpours, some localised, very heavy downpours with the risk of hail, thunder and lightning, and also some gusty winds as well. And that will clear things up, that'll freshen things up for Sunday. So the better of the 2 days will be Sunday. Not guaranteed to be completely dry, but there won't be as many showers. But we are still looking at quite an unsettled theme as we head through next week, with temperatures a little below average. It looks wet through the day on Monday as well. So this is the satellite picture from earlier. You can see barely a cloud in the sky. We had some fair weather cloud across the Dales, but otherwise plenty of sunshine, and we reached 27 degrees across quite a few spots in Yorkshire. And it's a lovely evening out there at the moment. Plenty of sunshine, a fine night to come, long clear spells. The breeze is going to pick up through the second half of the night, so the wind's strengthening, and quite a muggy night, a humid night. Temperatures down to around 14 or 15 degrees. Let's have a quick look at those high water times then. In Filey at 20 to 9 and at around 10 to 9 in Bridlington. So we'll start the day with some sunshine and a bit of a breeze. I think quite quickly that cloud will build. Showers merging into longer spells of rain at times. Some thunderstorms, some thundery downpours are possible. I'm hopeful that they should clear away northwards, and we should see some drier, brighter and even sunnier weather pushing northwards through the course of the afternoon. But we may well see this line of showers pushing across us tomorrow evening. The breeze will ease down through tomorrow afternoon, and it's still going to be warm, perhaps not quite as warm as today, but still getting up to around 23 or 24 degrees. Not as many showers around on Sunday. Tom and Izzy.
So from barbecues to brollies in the space of a few hours.
Absolutely, that's the British summertime.
Thank you very much indeed, it absolutely is. Things have been a bit topsy-turvy this evening, so don't worry, the national news is coming up next. But our late bulletin is here at 10:25 tonight, so do stay up with your cocoa for that. From everyone here, from Keely, from Izzy, that's as far as we go. Your Friday night news team bids you a farewell. And coming up next is Sophie Rayworth.